The clock that never waited. The old clock on the wall had been ticking long before the boy was born. Its steady sound filled the small house every morning, every afternoon, and every quiet evening. Tick, tick, tick. It never rushed, it never slowed, it simply moved forward. One bright morning, golden sunlight poured through the window and painted soft patterns across the wooden floor. The boy sat at the table, lazily spinning a pencil between his fingers while unfinished schoolwork rested in front of him. Outside, the world felt wide and endless, and time felt like something that could always wait. The boy believed there would always be another morning, another afternoon, another chance to do things later. His father, a calm and thoughtful man with gentle eyes, quietly watched the ticking clock on the wall. He believed time was the most valuable gift a person could ever receive. Not money, not toys, not even success. Time was the one treasure that once gone could never return. And every day, the clock continued to tick. Days slowly passed like drifting clouds. The boy often chose games over responsibilities, laughter over effort, and comfort over growth. His notebooks stayed half-filled, his dreams stayed half-started. Tomorrow always seemed like the perfect day to begin. But tomorrow always turned into another today. Meanwhile, his father worked patiently each day. Early mornings and long evenings filled his routine, not because life demanded it, but because he understood something powerful. Small moments, when used wisely, quietly build the future. One afternoon, the boy noticed something different. His father was sitting quietly by the window, holding the same old clock that had hung on the wall for years. The sunlight touched its glass face, making the hands glow softly as they moved. Tick, tick, tick. The boy watched the slow movement of the clock's hands. For the first time, he noticed how they never moved backward. No matter what happened, they always moved forward. The father placed the clock gently back on the wall. Days continued to move like pages turning in a story. One evening, the boy walked through the house and saw his father repairing an old wooden chair. Each careful movement showed patience. Each small action showed purpose. The boy slowly began to notice something he had never seen before. His father never wasted time. He used quiet mornings to prepare for the day. He used small breaks to fix things around the house. He used evenings to learn, read, and build new skills. Even the smallest minutes were used like precious pieces of gold. The boy began to realize something surprising. Time was not something that waited. Time was something that moved. One peaceful afternoon, the boy sat alone near the window, listening carefully to the clock. Tick, tick, tick. Each sound felt different now. Each second felt like a tiny opportunity passing by. For the first time, the boy looked at his unfinished notebook with new eyes. The blank pages no longer looked boring. They looked full of possibilities. Each page was a moment waiting to be used. Slowly, quietly, he picked up his pencil. Outside, the sun continued its journey across the sky. The world moved forward just like the clock. Days turned into weeks, weeks turned into months. Something inside the boy had changed. He began using his mornings with focus, his afternoons with effort, his evenings with curiosity. Small steps filled his days, reading, practicing, learning, helping. Nothing happened all at once, but little by little, something beautiful began to grow. The boy's confidence grew stronger, his skills grew sharper, his dreams began to take shape, like a painting slowly coming to life. And through it all, the clock continued its quiet rhythm. Tick, tick, tick. One evening, as golden sunset light filled the room, the boy looked at the old clock on the wall. He suddenly understood the lesson that had been quietly living in his home all along. Time had never been his enemy. Time had always been his greatest friend. It gave him chances, moments, new beginnings, every single day. Years later,
The boy would grow into a wise and hard-working young man, but the memory that stayed with him the most was not a speech, not a lecture, and not a strict lesson. It was the quiet sound of a clock in a small house, a reminder that every second is a gift, a reminder that dreams are built one moment at a time, and a reminder that the most successful people are not those who have the most time, but those who use the time they are given. And somewhere in the background, the old clock kept ticking, just as it always had. Tick, tick, tick. Because time never stops, but it always gives one more moment to begin. If you like the story, please give it a like and share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more inspiring stories like this one. Thank you for staying with us. See you in the next story with new thoughts and new lessons. Until then, stay well and stay peaceful.